Hi everyone, meteorologist Dylan Robichaud here. It is Saturday, April 5th at 4 o'clock East Coast time. We've got to talk about the rain. Here's a live look right now at the satellite and radar. You can see a good part of the country right now is actually looking at some quiet weather, but you can see that band of cloud cover. Right now we have millions of Americans under flood warnings. I mean, take a look at the red right now on the map. I mean, this is covering over a half dozen states. Arkansas, oh my God, Arkansas right now getting hammered with that heavy rainfall. The yellow on the map is some severe storms. We have severe thunderstorm watches right now that have been issued and severe thunderstorm warnings. And even a couple of tornado warnings sprinkled in there across eastern parts of Arkansas. Hey, I do have good news, okay? So I have good news and bad news. The good news is that today is the last day of the significant rainfall. The bad news is that there's a delayed effect between when you get the heaviest rainfall and when streams and lakes and rivers actually respond to that. All right? So excessive rainfall outlook today, a high risk. By the way, a high risk is that level 4 out of 4. The Weather Prediction Center only issues that maybe a handful of times per year, and we've had it multiple times this week. So here's today. The rain isn't done tomorrow, but it does improve. We have a slight risk here across Georgia and Alabama, so on and so forth. Okay. This is actually a free tool that you can get on the National Weather Service. This is actually a look at lakes and rivers. Guys, I am particularly concerned about life-threatening rainfall, especially across Arkansas, southeast Missouri, and parts of even western Tennessee, western Kentucky. And we'll just zoom in here on a few areas in particular. Notice that as we kind of zoom in, I believe this right here is for Arkansas. I mean, we're talking feet above flood stage, okay? So we're talking about some major flooding here being expected. So if you live across lakes or rivers or streams, you got to be very careful. I mean, you know, hopefully folks have flood insurance, but there will be imminent risks to property here as this rainwater moves on in. All right, so what the heck is causing this? Well, this is just all part of the mainstream weather pattern that we've had. So again, we have a dip in the jet stream right here. So this right here is what we call a trough. We have your jet stream dipping on down. We have high pressure across Florida and the Gulf of Mexico, so they're actually getting good weather. But then what's happening right now is that you got the strong jet stream. And you can see right here where the jet stream kind of diverges. We call that divergence. Surprise, surprise, right? So where you get the spreading out of the jet stream, that actually causes rising motion in the atmosphere. And so what's happening right now is that we got the jet stream pulling in this moisture right here from the Gulf of Mexico, and then that's basically acting like a conveyor belt here, pushing it farther up to the north. So that's kind of what's happening here. The good news, though, is that as we head into the days and weeks ahead, we are going to start to get some improvements. And so the issue with all the rainfall is that we've had days, probably weeks at this point, of just a very consistent pattern where you have a trough and then you have a ridge. And so you're getting that amplified moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, right? I don't even know what we call it. I guess Gulf of America right now is the politically correct term. But you can see as we head into the week, finally, now, look right now at what happens with the jet stream, okay? Are we looking at that trough ridge pattern? Nope. Now we're looking at more of what we call zonal flow, okay? When you get zonal flow like this, that typically is indicative of a pretty boring weather setup, okay? We do have a subtropical jet that's strengthening here across parts of Florida. That could lead to maybe more sea breeze enhanced thunderstorms heading into the middle of the week, but that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get rid of that, and let's go back and talk about the next few weeks. And, the question is this flooding potential going to return? I don't see that anytime soon. Now, we do get into more of a potential of thunderstorm-like weather as we get towards possibly next weekend, a week from today on the 12th. Notice that we have more of a meridianal setup. So where the jet stream goes up and it goes down, typically this produces more thunderstorm potential, but this is actually a relatively weak jet stream that we're looking at here. And so, this right here is not screaming severe weather heading into next week. Maybe some clouds, maybe more shower opportunities, so on and so forth. All right? So, let's go ahead right now and take a look at future rainfall here. And starting off today, obviously not a whole lot. Here's Sunday. A lot of the rainfall is actually going to fall Saturday night going into Sunday here, especially across the Mississippi River. Wow. We're talking another 3 inches. So, think about this, folks. The water is already over the embankments in many locations. Many locations are looking at severe flooding. We're talking the same areas that have had that severe flooding are looking at an additional 3 to 4 inches of rainfall between Saturday night going into Sunday. Folks, that water is going to have nowhere to go. What happens when water has nowhere to go? It's going to run off, okay? The ground is saturated. When the ground is saturated, the water can't percolate through the soil. So some of these areas have already had more than a half foot of rainfall. We're adding another 4 inches on top of that. So that's not good. Now, as we head towards Tuesday, we break out of this. So we're not looking at any additional rainfall heading into, really Monday and Tuesday. But it looks like Saturday night going into Sunday gets pretty bad. So you can see right here, right now we have a cold front. You can see right now, I know, I'm a great artist. So here we are. We got a cold front here moving on through. That could actually lead to the potential of some snowfall here as far south as Texas. We could be looking at some snow heading into the next few days. Now, as we head into Sunday, this would be tomorrow night. Look at this right now across northwest Ohio. What is this right here? Look at that right there. That is snowfall across northwest Ohio. And then we got some rain down here across parts of the Gulf and across the deep south. So, we got that to contend with as well. Now, as we go ahead and head into the future, you'll notice that a lot of these rain opportunities are really going to come to an end. So, Tuesday, you're going to get a pretty dry day. Wednesday, heading into Thursday, we do get some rain across parts of the Midwest, but that's not going to impact Arkansas and Kentucky as much. And then as we head towards next weekend, most of the rain is going to be east of the Appalachian Mountains, and then so on and so forth. All right, so I just want to come in and give you a good update. Again, the bullet points, the footnotes. We have another 36 hours of heavy rainfall. Parts of Arkansas, Missouri, southern Illinois, western Tennessee, places that already have that severe flooding. It's only going to get worse, all right? We're talking about life-threatening rainfall, so make sure that you are prepared for that if you know anybody that kind of lives in the Tennessee Valley. We'll see you in our next video.